I'd say it's a road movie, or it's a horror film. A lot of killing goes on.
It's a very emotional ride. It's a very primitive ride.
It's like a rabbit chase through Texas. And what happens to the characters is unbelievably dramatic.
It's a crime story.
The Mexican brown dope.
In some ways it's a Western because of the terrain and the setting. In some ways it feels a little bit like a noir.
There's a good deal of humor in it, so you could call it a comedy.
You know how many people I know in El Paso, Texas? That's how many.
It's a very powerful story about violence, where any option can be taken.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
I'd say it's a horror comedy chase. Who are these people?
I think it's a Coen Brothers film.
Call it. Call it.
They're their own genre.
No Country for Old Men, the novel by Cormac McCarthy, is a book that the producer Scott Rudin had brought to us, thinking we might have an affinity for it, and we did. At a basic level, liking it as a book and thinking that maybe we could do something with it. It was begging to be made into a movie.
It read like a treatment for a screenplay, to me, but a screenplay for a very good movie. It was unlike anything Cormac has written before. A chase kicked off by a drug deal gone bad.
It just seemed interesting in a genre way, but also interesting because it kind of subverts the genre expectations too. It's kind of a chase, but the bad guy actually never catches up to the good guy.
I thought it was a very powerful story. And in the hands of the Coens, that story can be really powerful and deep.
It's the sort of material that plays to a lot of their strengths. And it's a very cinematic book.
We're rolling. Hey. And action.
We'd done our first movie in Texas. It is a place that we kind of knew and were certainly attracted to before we read the book, so that was another incentive for us to do the story.
As far as where you are at the end, you don't have to be in any specific place. Let's see where it times out.
Here's how it's different for us, just in terms of the experience of making the movie. The three main guys never have scenes together because one is pursuing the other.
We don't cross paths, which is one of the points that I think is more interesting in the story, that we really don't interact with each other, even if we are looking for each other the whole movie.
It's basically a chase story. The Javier Bardem character chasing the Josh Brolin character, with Tommy Lee Jones bringing up the tail.
It is a dark story, and the book is quite dark, and that's the defining characteristic of it.
The book is one of the most amazing stories that I've read in a long time. I identified with each character in different circumstances or situations that I would put myself in.
If I don't come back, you tell Mother I love her.
Your mother's dead, Llewellyn.
Well, then I'll tell her myself.
There was a somewhat lengthy search to decide who would play Llewellyn Moss. You need someone who seems ruggedly competent in a way, the real person who understands the country and really seems like they're from the country.
We thought it'd be really easy because in our minds it's kind of the regular guy, and we thought, well, you know, we just need a good, clean kid. It turns out it's not that easy to embody that without either being dull or being not of the region, which is a bad thing because...
Not convincing as a cowboy in a way.
We were extremely fortunate to come across Josh, who is the perfect choice. You really feel like this is a Texan.
He wore the cowboy hat before he showed up for this part. I mean, he really just kind of fit in really naturally.
Reset to go again, please.
I grew up working hard on a ranch, and I know these guys really, really well. Moss is just a compilation of a lot of guys that I grew up with.
Ready?
All these guys would do exactly the same thing given this circumstance.
Action!
Moss is a backwoods country boy who's never had any money. He knows where there's heroin and a drug bust gone bad, there's got to be money somewhere.
And so he sees the money and thinks, well, nobody's here, there's no witnesses, and he almost sort of gets away with it.
The book was about a good guy, a bad guy, and a guy in between, and he's kind of the guy in between.
Right, just sort of regular person who's caught up in extraordinary circumstances and spends the rest of the movie trying to sort of avoid the consequences.
Moss is going through 2 tours in Vietnam, so he can take care of himself, absolutely. When you experience this character, Sugar, who's basically the devil incarnate, you think there's no way this guy's gonna make it.
You know Anton Chigurh by sight?
Yes, sir. I know him every which way.
Just how dangerous is he?
Compared to what? The bubonic plague?
He's described in the book as someone without a sense of humor. But beyond that, he's not described very extensively. We needed an actor who would be able to flesh it out in a substantial way without giving away too much. Hence, Javier Bardem.
I'm looking for Llewellyn Moss.
Well, I'd say he's at work. Do you want to leave a message?
Where does he work?
I can't say.
Where does he work?
As an actor, I always try to find the character circumstances. Here with the Coen, we realized that we don't need to know everything about Anton Chigurh because that's his power. You cannot really understand him completely. He doesn't need to be explained.
He is supposed to be sort of unplaceable ethnically, nationally. He's the one character who's not a local, not a West Texas person. So Javier sort of fit the bill in that regard. He's clearly, it is mysterious where he's from, but it's not West Texas.
It's been really wonderful to watch Javier because those of us on the crew, I think, didn't quite know what to expect. And it's such a fantastic, enigmatic character that he's created.
Call it. Call it, yes.
Anton Chigurh only believes in one thing, which is fate.
I need to know what I stand to win. Everything. How's that? You stand to win everything, call it.
And he uses this coin toss in order to show the other people that their life and death belongs to destiny itself.
Well done.
There's an openness to him that makes it far more scary than if somebody just gave a look. I'm gonna kill you look, you know? You don't understand it, you can't pigeonhole it, you can't categorize it. He brings this soul to it that it makes it very eerie.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
I mean the nature of you.
All right, here we go.
And roll, please.
Rolling. White, please. Hey. And action.
Well, it's a mess, ain't it, Sheriff?
If it ain't, it'll do till the mess gets here.
Tommy's character is the center of the movie. Sheriff Bell's a very decent kind of guy.
Salt of the earth, yet very capable sheriff.
And the part requires the kind of subtlety that only a really, really great actor can bring to it.
Somebody unloaded on that thing with a shotgun.
I suppose I have played several Texas law enforcement officers, and actors live in constant fear of being typecast. But the attraction of working with Cormac McCarthy's material was overwhelming.
There's just a very, very few people who can carry a movie like this and also be in a real sort of fundamental way convincing as being of the region.
Well, this is just a deal gone wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. Appears to have been a glitch or two.
In a strange way, that part of it didn't have to be acted by Tommy, like it would have been necessary for any number of other actors.
Tommy Lee, he's a great hybrid of incredible smarts and a country boy. He's from San Saba County, and that's where Llewellyn Moss is from, and he couldn't help but remind me of that many times.
600-pound steer, you can slaughter a 600-pound steer. That makes sense.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that steer is great. He's of the region to sort of his core, and the region is so much a part of the character.
A character belongs in a place. You have to work hard to make a character look as if he belongs in a place. And I enjoy working in West Texas a great deal. I love that country. It's my home, and it makes it, for me, a very comfortable movie set.
Of course, they slaughter steers a lot different these days. Use an air gun. Shoots out a little rod about that far into the brain, sucks right back in. Animal never knows what hit him.
Why are you telling me that, Sheriff?
You can't really act the region. That's why we cast Kelly MacDonald, who happens to be a Scottish actress from Glasgow. And I was very skeptical about it because I just didn't believe she could play a gal from West Texas. And every now and then you come across someone who just has that sort of facility with accents and is that good an actor.
She's gotten the West Texas accent down perfectly. Between takes, she's this sweet little girl from Scotland. And when the camera turns on, she's this pretty tough West Texas gal.
What's in the satchel?
It's full of money.
That'll be the day. Carla Jean is married to Llewellyn, and it's a really sweet relationship, actually. You get the sense that they're very well matched, and she can give as much as, you know, he can take. There's kind of a nice banter between them.
Keep running that mouth of yours, I'm gonna take you in the back and screw you.
Big talk.
Keep it up.
They don't have that many scenes together in the movie.
Llewellyn?
What we tried to convey in the few short scenes that they have together is that they have a very close relationship.
What am I supposed to tell Mama?
She tries standing in the door and hollering, Mom, I'm home.
Llewellyn?
Come on, pack your things.
He wants better things for his wife. He wants to be able to create a better life for them and to make her happy.
I got a bad feeling, Llewellyn.
Well, I got a good one, so that ought to even out.
She's just a very normal young woman. They live in a trailer and kind of have a pretty sedate life.
She lives in a trailer, you know, double wide out in the trailer park in Sanderson, Texas, and works at Walmart. I don't know if it's a cliche, but at least people recognize what we're talking about.
The story is about where it takes place as much as anything else.
So the location becomes a huge, important character or element in the story, and it can't be separated from the story.
It was very important to us that we shoot at least the stuff where you really get a feel for the landscape in West Texas.
It's a primitive landscape. It's a survivalist landscape. And that's what the whole story revolves around. It revolves around surviving. And when you live off the land, it's all about the elements. You go with the flow. You have lightning happening over here, it's sunny over here, it's 120 over here, and then it's 50 degrees that night. It's constantly changing.
West Texas is a really beautiful place and a really remote place. We shot some of the movie based out of Marfa.
And that poses its own set of challenges because Marfa is really, it's out there. It's about 3.5 hours from El Paso and about 3.5 hours from Midland, and it's very harsh country, but really gorgeous in a lot of ways. And so we were able to go there and shoot a lot of the wide exterior stuff that really tries to set the mood and give you sort of feel for where the story really takes place.
That looks like about a 77 Ford to you, Wendell.
It could be.
I'd say it is, not a doubt in my mind.
It was a little strange discovering that we were making a period movie set in 1980, because in a way we don't associate that with period in the sense that you think of period movies. Still, a surprising number of sort of design elements have to be manipulated to make it convincing.
This structure is the American side of the border crossing into Mexico. The whole thing was prefabbed at the stages that we're shooting on, but now we're in the process of putting the set dressing on there and making it seem like it's been here for 26 years. Taking the movie back 26 years definitely makes it harder. There's all the period vehicles that you have to find. They're all 70s or 80s vintage cars, and they're all this West Texas color palette that I had in mind.
It's a little more tricky than doing something from the 19th century because that's, you know, a complete different time. And 1980 is not that far in the past, but it's far enough in the past that it's a little tricky to find things from that time.
You got a pair of Larry Mann's, shoulder size 11?
I'll check.
It's before the internet, no cell phones. People didn't have to necessarily keep up with the fashion of the time, so they were looking very much like they did 10 years prior, some people 20 years prior.
It's not often you see a Mexican in a suit.
In West Texas, in the summertime, people wear straw cowboy hats because it's hot, and our movie takes place in the summertime. So Moss and Bell wear straw hats. But Sugar was, to me, the one that was left most wide open. He's a fish out of water, a criminal that was from another part of the country or another country entirely. Sugar is trying to fit in, so he has a denim jacket, but it's not like one that anybody else would wear. And he's a little bit more in with the times. His collar is a little bit bigger. He's got like one of those groovier belts. It's not a Western belt. And then I knew that he should have a boot that was almost like a weapon, and with a toe and a very slanted heel, and just sort of made you kind of cringe if you look at them. And so we actually made them out of alligator, and they're like bumpy and gross and pointy, and they could kill someone.
You know how this is gonna turn out, don't you?
Nope.
And his haircut was so right, and I knew it, and he knew it, and Joel and Ethan just started laughing in a good way.
Well, he has just a fantastic haircut.
Yeah. Javier loved the haircut.
His character has really evolved into this other thing. What we're doing to him and his look, would have never have thought that for the character. Didn't imagine that when we were, reading the script.
So well in there.
He's somebody who needs to be able to blend in into the environment where he goes. The fun thing about it is he doesn't blend at all. There's a scene in the film where the crime scene takes place. And when our character Moss first approaches it, there's bodies everywhere on the ground and a dead dog, a pit bull. And we've had to create all these bodies.
That looks good, Christian.
And the challenging thing was to create these bodies to feel bloated, dead, and burnt by the sun. It's because what happens to a body in the desert after 2 days is pretty horrific.
How's everything you think looking? Dog
I think it
was?
looks fantastic.
Okay.
The sort of almost excessive nature of the blood and the violence in the movie obviously makes for some strange moments of the set.
There have been many wonderful moments. Steve Root getting shot in the throat and gurgling. We shot Javier performing field surgery on himself in a crappy motel room. The prosthetic wound and all this sort of...
blood everywhere.
And with the opening scene, we just kind of leap right into the mayhem. It sort of establishes the bad guy's character in a kind of graphic way.
I got it under control. The thing that surprised all of us, I think, was the opening violence, strangling the deputy with the handcuffs. And it sounded like, it's a tussly kind of fight thing. No big deal. Oh, man.
I was talking to Joel and he goes, we're gonna choke him. He's gonna die. His neck's gonna split open. There's gonna be some blood. And this has to be the most violent scene in the film. This has to be the most horrific, torturous sort of choking scene ever seen.
And so the question was how to make that look real and brutal without hurting either of the actors. Because to put any pressure on someone with a pair of handcuffs, your wrists go numb after a couple of seconds. You can't really feel anything with your fingers there, can you? With this hand?
Handcuffs are not designed to be comfortable. So once you get down on the ground, the handcuffs pinch the arms and are on pressure points. If he's not pulling hard on the handcuffs, then it doesn't look like he's really hurting the guy. And then if he's pulling hard on the handcuffs, he's hurting himself.
And we built this harness to the actor, which looked like something the Terminator would have. It had metal braces around the neck and the handcuffs attached to that. And then we created prosthetics that would fit over all this and try to make it look natural. Sugar has his handcuffs wrapped around the deputy, and he's violently throwing him around the room by the neck. And as the chain digs into the skin, he eventually gives it a good twist, and the skin pops, and the artery bursts, and blood starts to come out. Give it to the brothers for shooting it in a way that I think sells the effect correctly.
There's something about it that's a little like a horror movie. There are things that are sort of similar to what we've done before and things that are very different.
A lot of this stuff is very procedural, people doing things to cover their tracks or track the other two people. It's all very, much of the
about
movies...
physical activity in order to achieve a purpose, which honestly we've sort of always been fascinated by.
The pharmacy explosion was a little tricky just because you're working in a public street. You have cars going by, stunt guys on the walkway, and then the crews in the store.
So when you step down, sort of a quick look that way and that way, definitely.
The whole thing comes from the original storyboard of the car blow-up scenes. So you start with the story elements where he makes a fuse and lights the gas cap, and it's all on the actor's cue.
Action.
So even the door that he's opening is loaded with materials. And even though one car explodes, we had 5 large plate glass windows to drop at the same time as if there was a concussion wave coming out of the car. You just kind of sandwich all the effects into it so it's not a big threat to anybody, but it's still visually filling the frame. Working with the Coens, it's always, let's take it a little further as we get a little more into the art of it rather than churning it out by body count.
Take the gun out again, grab onto the thing, gun's drawn. Yeah, that's great.
Most of the special effects are related to the shotgun fights.
The weapons involved were a big deal.
Let's talk to Jerry. I'm a little worried about that.
All the guns the actors used. McCarthy's very detailed in his description about what the guns really were. Moss has a basic hunting rifle.
You hold still.
It's a Remington 700, but that's the same kind of weapon that Army snipers used. And he was a Vietnam vet, so that tied together.
12 gauge. You need shells?
Yeah, 00.
Moss takes a shotgun and saws it off in the motel room.
So you want this to fall from this to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quiet, please.
McCarthy didn't really say what it was, but when he said he worked the pump and let the hammer down, there's only one shotgun I knew that, that did that. It was a Winchester Model 97. And so that's what we went with.
That's a cut.
Moss has to kind of work for his weapons. Sugar just somehow seems to pull them out of thin air. Just whatever kind of killing thing that he needs. He has this shotgun with this silencer on it, which is a real unusual weapon, and we had to have that specially made to accommodate the description.
What is that?
I need you to step out of the car, sir.
This cattle gun that he uses.
What is that for?
Oh yes, the bolt gun. It's modeled after the device used to kill cows, which is a steel bolt that goes through the skull. So we sort of took the look and made a set of guns, one that has an air cylinder in it to knock locks apart. And then the other one was a recoil model that would shoot backwards, so the actor had something to work with and he didn't have to totally mime it.
It's as close as we'll come to a kind of action movie, although it is and it isn't. But like I say, it's the closest we'll come.
I think No Country for Old Men is a very simple story, but in the Coen's hands, it's very complex in the way they shot it, in the way they go farther with their characters, and it's fun to watch, even if it's violent, because the story is about violence.
The movie is by far the most violent movie we've ever made. It was different. I mean, it was different from anything we've done before.
Once again, it belongs to the Coens. I'm from Spain. I'm a Spanish actor, and my agent in LA, and she asked me who you would like to work with, and I said the Coen brothers. That was truly my first desire, wish, was that. I knew that never was going to happen because the Coens always play these deeply profound American stories.
Action.
And then when they come to me and they asked me to do this, I was really pleased and really surprised. And when I saw their point of view of Anton Chigurh, how to be played, I said, well, I have to do this movie because I thought one way, and they are giving me these options that are far, far more interesting.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
I always thought, how would that be to be directed by two people? But the Coens are like the same person with two heads.
The two heads on one body? I've never seen them get in an argument, which I can't believe. I literally can't believe it. One will finish the other sentence, and they complement each other. They're constantly complimenting each other.
Instead of the two-headed monster, it's the two-headed friend. It's a true collaboration. And they do everything together.
You want to do one more?
Yeah. I just felt really safe having both of them there, you're lucky if you get one good director on a film, and so this way we get two.
They're always themselves very much in charge and, you know, are very confident about knowing what they want. They nevertheless are very collaborative.
You start at the same place, go the same speed. That'll look good. Do you want to see it?
I love working with them because they're both equally brilliant in their vision, and they're studied in their vision. They know exactly what they want, and yet they're completely open to suggestions. You know, what if I did this? Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. What if we did this? Yeah, let's try that. So they're very open to creative collaboration.
A line can mean different things, different options, depends on how you play it. And they are very good in trying to make the actor play in different ways.
Where does he work?
I can't say.
Where does he work?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to give out no information about our residents.
Where does he work?
Did you not hear me?
Things are very professional and quiet, you might say low key. And that's a nice contrast in some of the events that we're depicting in the movie.
Need you to drive me on out of here.
It's one of the most tense stories I've ever read, and yet there's never been a fight on the set. There's never been anybody that's raised their voice on the set. There's no ego on the set. It doesn't hold up here.
Just for the sake of fussing with the same speech, you take a beat before the point being. So you should drop the so it starts with the explosive.
Point
being.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Little things mean a lot. It's fun to work with this company. They don't have any unnecessary hullabaloo.
They believe in ensemble, and they create just an incredible environment. It's really nice to see two extremely well-prepared, dedicated people who have gathered wonderful people around them on all levels of the crew.
There's a number of people like myself who have done, you know, 6, 7, 8, 10 movies with them over and over again, and so it's like a family reunion when you come back to the first day of shooting and you haven't seen everybody for a year or 2 years.
This is my 7th movie designing for them, so I kind of know their taste, and their taste is similar to mine, so it's very organic and it feels really natural and right.
This is number 10. Got it? And they spoil it for anybody else as far as I'm concerned. First of all, they're organized. They know what they want. They have a unique way of shooting, and they're so approachable.
When they see me coming and I have a handful of photographs in my hand, they like make time for me and they'll look at it and they'll pick out what they want.
They're the ultimate team captains. They want everyone to do their job, and they're willing to spend the time to give you the information you need to do your job.
I started on Raising Arizona. Working with the Coens, it's always, here's sort of the stock way, now let's take it a little further, which is what I like as we get a little more into the art of it. You know, making things have a little more subtlety. You know, smoke on the gun barrel instead of just bullet hits in the walls. Building the bolt gun and getting it to work with trigger linkage and stuff, you know, from a compulsive builder sort of point of view, that's, you know, sort of satisfying to see a part come out and then be immortalized on the screen.
Nothing is taken lightly, which I love. Every screw in a piece of grill work really needs to be figured out. Every color really needs to be worked out to tell the story. It's just a visual feast.
That's the fun part for me. Just creating a whole different world.
This is my first time working with Joel and Ethan. I've been a fan of them since I was a kid. They probably don't want to hear that, but I remember watching Blood Simple with my father, probably at an age that I shouldn't have been watching a movie like that. And the most impressive thing that I found about working with the brothers is watching them communicate with each other, because it makes you think to yourself, why can't I be like that with my brother or my siblings? They got such a wonderful way of working and collaborating and dealing with situations, and then being able to express and communicate that to the crew. It's comforting.
Should we change barrels or just go without one?
You think the first take might not be good?
How quick is it to swap?
It just takes a couple minutes to change the
Let's
barrel.
swap the barrel, do a little of the front, and then go up closer for the end.
These guys are passionate filmmakers. They seem to be as interested in making movies as they were when they first started. That enthusiasm, that spreads through the whole crew. makes filmmakers out of all of us.
Front with the guns, you're running like that, and then when you hop in and you take off, you could give it a little bit more of a, like you're avoiding rocks and cholla.
They are very aware of the effort that the whole crew does in order for create a good movie. They know that they are not alone. They are the Coens, but they know that this thing is about being a group of people trying to do their best. They always say thank you at the end of the day to everybody, which is nice, which is something that says a lot about them.
Do you know what? This is the way a movie set's supposed to go.
Everybody knows, you know, the long list of movies that they've done, and if you're a fan, you're a fan, and that's it. You just love what they do and you love their style. And having the opportunity to work on one of theirs where they're putting their heart and soul into it, it's amazing.
You know, I try to, do whatever they're doing just because it's nice to work on an organized show that we get to work my craft with a little more art than normal.
So you always want to come back if you can, and I've been really fortunate, and I would keep doing it. As long as they'll have me, I'll be there.
I feel really, really, really deeply honored to be here. I never thought that it could be possible for me to be in a Coen movie. So it's a dream. It's truly a dream.
I was sheriff of this county when I was 25 years old. Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun.
What about yours?
Can't help but wonder how they'd operated these times. The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's not that I'm afraid of it, but I don't want to push my chips for it and go out and meet something I don't understand.
Be careful.
Always am.
Don't get hurt.
Never do.
Don't hurt no one.
If you say so.
The movie is about a middle American small-town sheriff. It's about this character's perspective on time going by and aging and things changing, and that's no surprise given the title of the book.
The character of Bell is towards the end of his career, and the story involves him being confronted with a crime and a type of criminal with which he's never had to deal before.
The book is set in 1980. It's not strictly speaking present day. It takes place just when the cross-border drug trade, Texas, Mexico is getting very brutal, and that's sort of an opportunity for reflection for the sheriff.
It's all the goddamn money, Tom. Money and the drugs. It's just goddamn beyond everything. What's it mean?
Sheriff Bell is sheriff of Terrell County in West Texas. It's very sparsely populated, not a wealthy place, a place where older traditions are more vital than they might be in Dallas County, for example. He has an older spirit. Hadn't seen a lot of change. The drug trade across the river and the violence that comes with it has introduced a new kind of criminal that's hard for him to understand.
You think this boy Moss has got any notion of the sorts of sons of bitches that are hunting him?
I don't know, he ought to. He's seen the same things I've seen, and it certainly made an impression on me.
Tommy talks about what's going on and tries to figure out what's going on, but what's going on is kind of overwhelming.
None of that explains your man, though. He's just a goddamn homicidal lunatic, Tom.
I'm not sure he's a lunatic.
Yeah, well, what would you call him?
Yeah, sometimes I think he's pretty much a ghost. What kind of criminal is Anton Sugar? He's a complete mystery. He uses an unusual weapon and seems to be an indiscriminate killer. That's about all that the Sheriff Bell learns from his tentative investigation. He doesn't learn a lot. He doesn't understand it.
One of the issues that the novel and the movie is the way to understand this huge wave of violence. Sugar symbolizes that violence, and what he does through the movie is to really go farther, one step farther with it.
The character of Sugar, he's a little bit of a cipher. You're not really entirely sure what his motivations are, and he has a kind of a peculiar moral code of his own.
You got no cause to hurt me.
No. But I gave my word.
It's not like he's just going around killing people. He does everything he does without a sense of ego. I know you was crazy when I saw you sitting there.
What is that for?
Would you hold still, please, sir?
What Anton Chigurh does is a new kind of violence. He shows that violence doesn't have any explanation most of the time, or any roots. It just happened, and it's unstoppable.
What you got ain't nothing new. This country's hard on people.
The countryside is such an important character. I mean, it's no country for old men, and that needs to play a big part in the story.
It's the incredible texture of the West, the evolution of what the West is supposed to mean, and all of the stuff that Belle goes through in trying to figure out this place in this vast country.
From the point of view of the novel, it was probably chosen because it represented the region where cross-border drug trade was becoming much more violent, and that represents some change in the perspective of the main character in terms of him looking at the history of the region.
It's a harsh environment, not a picturesque landscape. It's kind of not an easy place to live in.
And with a history of violence.
It's a story about a certain part of the country at a certain point in time, with these characters pursuing each other.
And there's something about the principle of these people, of what do I appreciate, what do I like, what do I live for, what am I going for, what do I stand for.
How do you know he's not on his way to Odessa?
Why would he go to Odessa?
Kill your wife?
Maybe he's the one who needs to be worried.
You're not cut out for this.
As well as these three people, there's the generational shift in that part of the country.
You know, if you'd have told me 20 years ago, I'd see children walking the streets of our Texas towns with green hair, bones in their noses, I just flat out wouldn't have believed you.
Signs and wonders. Sheriff Bell more or less lives up to the title. He feels personally overcome by this new and monstrous criminality.
Loretta tells me you're quitting. How come you're doing that?
I feel overmatched. And I think he learns an important lesson in the disillusionment that he feels and the disappointment in his inability to deal with this new kind of criminality.
Ain't all waiting on you. That's vanity.
The universe does not actually revolve around any one individual, however tempted we might be to think that individual is me. You can't help but compare yourself against the old timers. You have to say, okay, I'll be part of this world.